So we've got a few bits to do then for your massage stuff. So we're going to run through your massage stuff, massage stuff first, and through a few bits of rotation as well, so you can kind of really start to mobilize and get used to just increasing the blood flow and the mobility through your wrist, through your thumb. And of course, like anything, you've got to think about it. The hand has got some muscles in it, obviously, but they're much smaller. And really the muscles that are above the wrist, if there's a lot of tension there, especially if you do a lot of gripping, something like jiu-jitsu, and you never release, you can get a lot of tension through your forearms and the muscles in the forearms and upper arm. And of course, if there's more tension, it's less likely for sort of to restrict blood flow. And then you start to get like scar tissue build up and inflammation, all those bits and pieces, which is where we're at now. All right, so there's a few different methods we're going to look at. First of all, just mobilization wise then. So again, depending on your range of movement, you obviously want to increase your mobility. At the moment, that's very difficult for you because it's very uncomfortable. So literally you're just going to think about every day, just think about mobilizing from your shoulder all the way down. All right, so that might be that you're just literally doing some simple shoulder shrugs to start with. All right, so just forwards and backwards, just to loosen off your shoulder, swinging your arm gently without obviously bashing your wrist, opening across, pulling across, reaching over the top, so you're just stretching and mobilizing through your arms, plenty. All right, and obviously the same elbow, you can just rotate, just get a bit of movement through there, simple rotations. And again, simple rotations with the wrist, so again you can help stabilize the sort of forearm for isolation of the wrist. Again, just work that rotation that feels right for you. I know your range will be limited, so just do your range. And of course, you're trying to find that range that, again, like we talked about, which is uncomfortable but not painful. And you obviously rotate in both directions. Yeah, and the same, you can kind of just try and move forwards and backwards, side to side. So this is before you do any massage stuff and before you do your main rehab exercises. It's just like a mobilizer, and you can also do it afterwards if you wanted to as well, after, if it feels a bit stiff after you've done your strengthening stuff. All right, so that's my shoulder, my elbow, my wrist, a little bit of stabilization there as well. And then of course the thumb is where we're getting a lot of the discomfort as well. So it might be that we just start by small rotations of the thumb. So you can see I'm just holding the tip of my thumb, keeping my hand fairly still, and I'm just rotating my thumb. I can obviously build that as you get more confident to the point where later you can just literally be kind of moving it around in a circle, forwards and backwards. Again, I can be just trying to compress the thumb and opening it out. So I'm just thinking about moving all of the joints individually. You've got a knuckle here, knuckle here, knuckle here, right? So you can kind of fix your hand and you can just rotate this knuckle here where it joins in with your wrist. Just get some movement there first. Then of course you can try and fix then to the knuckle beneath it, so holding above, and again just trying to move that knuckle up and down, forwards and backwards, and the same, just flexing the knuckles, getting a bit of rotation. You can also use a very gentle bit of traction, and obviously as it gets better you can use more traction, which all I mean by that is I can literally take my two fingers like this and I can put it between my thumb and I can just literally just gently pull out. So it's just opening out the joints a little bit as well. All right, so some just gentle rotation mobility stuff you can do. In terms of massage, you can do a few things. I've got a couple of tools here. One of them which is really nice for your forearm, because you can put pressure on your forearm without using your bad hand. And obviously your other hand can get a bit tired if you're doing massage and stuff as well. But I can use something like this, a peanut basically. And I can use it on the floor, and then I can look to basically use that to massage through my forearm. So I can put pressure on my forearm, I can add pressure with my other hand, and I can move it up and down slowly through my forearm muscles, finding all the tight bits and pieces. And again, I'm rotating all the way through, trying to get as much of my forearm as possible. It's slow, try and find any points of tension. If you find any particular areas that feel particularly tender, so often it might be around here, or if I find anything like that, I can just rest and relax, put a bit of pressure, hold on to it, just try and release that forearm off. You can also do it on your triceps. You can lie down on your tummy and do it through your tricep and areas like that as well. So these are a really good tool for you to use. So you can get one of those for about £5-6 on Amazon. You can also get these, which are really cool, which is basically just a ball that rotates within a little plastic pot, but I can use that again for massaging any areas through my arms. So I use this quite a lot through my forearms, which is really nice. I can really get into the muscle and apply as much or as little as pressure as I want, but you can use it anywhere, right? I can use it into my shoulders, I can use it into the backs of my, the back of my shoulders, my traps, behind underneath my arms and sort of around my lats. You can also get your partner to use it in any areas that are tense. So they're pretty good too. So that's a nice little tool you can use. They're not very expensive. I can send you a link if you need one. And then a bit of actual sort of physical manual manipulation, which you can use your other hand for. There's a couple of options. You can just get like a simple like moisturising cream. You might already have one. This is really good though. You can get it from Holland & Barrett. It's a bit pricey, but it's really, really good. And I literally would never do without it really. It's like a CBD muscle cream. It's got really nice smell as well. It's got like capsicum and stuff like that in it. So you can use that too. Maybe not if you're going straight to work, it'll be a bit funky, but when you're at home, it'll be really good. All right. So for today, that's a little bit oily as well. So if you don't want to damage it, get it on your clothes or anything, you want to use that when you're maybe more at home. This is just a water-based cream, so you can use that. It's more about friction, that's why we're using it, just so we don't get too much friction on the skin, and it gives us a bit more to be able to sort of manipulate over the top. So what you're going to think about doing is just think about, again, you can do it above on your own bicep as well, all right, but I think we're mostly thinking about through the forearms and then through the muscles in the hand. There's two major muscles you want to think about massaging. The main one will be the one in your thumb here, called the hypothenar eminence. So it's basically a big muscle here. Gets a lot of use, but we don't really look after it very well. So it's really good to be able to massage as well. So I'll show you a quick routine we can run through. Obviously you'll spend a lot longer. You want to spend sort of 5-ish minutes doing this, all right? So I just take a little bit of cream on my forearm, and all I'm thinking about doing is just massaging up and down the forearm. So obviously we're trying to flush blood down towards the wrist. That would be good. So I'm just going up and down. But also the muscle fibers all run this direction too. So I can also think about going across the muscle fibers, and this will just sort of help separate the fibers. Imagine there are lots of little strings that you separate, and in between those strings you can kind of get the bits, little claggy bits that catch and scar tissue and stuff like that. So you separating those fibers will actually be really good. So you can do that through all parts of your forearm, up and down, all right, and across the muscle fibers. You can also use the knuckles of your hand if you need a bit more pressure to just drive up and down through the bigger muscles. Right there, I can feel it's quite tense. And again, it should be uncomfortable, but not painful. That's quite painful, but I know myself well enough to be able to put a bit of pressure through any areas that get tight like this. All right, this is really good for stopping like bicep strain as well, working through all these areas. And same that's through the top, and obviously on the underside, there's a lot of muscles on this side too. This is obviously what helps with the thumb here, the flexor and extensors. So I'm working through all of that. Again, straight lines all the way down to the wrist, but also across the muscle fibers. Feel where areas are tense. If there's areas that are particularly tense, you can work in that. You can do straight lines, across the fibers. You can also do like little circles through the muscles as well. So it's just about working through those muscles, finding the tight areas, loosen them off, and it will really help increase the blood supply right down to the wrist. All right. Then we think about the hand then. So like I said, this hypothenar eminence, hypothenar eminence, two muscles, main muscles in like the palm of your hand. The thumb is going to be the most important one for you. So again, you can put cream on there. You can also use like this ball on the floor, like this, to be able to put pressure on and roll it as well. But my favourite technique for this one is it's quite tender, even when you kind of don't have any issues. But I try and do this as much as possible, obviously, especially for jiu-jitsu, and I never have any hand problems because I look after my hands because of massage and gym and jiu-jitsu and all the rest of it. I put a ton of cream in, just rub it in a little bit. And then what I use the knuckle on my other thumb here. So I just bend my thumb, the first knuckle, and I use that part to massage into the muscle here. So you can see I'm kind of using that. I'll just turn it, obviously I wouldn't do it like this with my elbow high, but you can see just how I'm massaging across. I can use my other thumb. I'm just trying to, again, get into the muscle around the thumb. And again, I'm working around the joints here of the thumb and through this top section where you're inflamed, this little bit here, the anatomical snuff box, that little divot there. Working through all of that into the skin between the finger and the thumb. For all that area there will feel tight and tender. There's quite a few pressure points and release points. One of them is in here, so just getting in there, it might feel a bit tender, working around the joints of the thumb, all the way down to the end. And then again, I can, at the end of that, once I've done all this and I've spent a good bit of time on each of these areas and I feel like I've got in there a little bit, I can go back to those kind of traction. There'll be a bit of cream now on there, right? So you can kind of put it on, massage around the joint, like so, and then look, I can kind of just pull and slip off the end, just get a bit of opening up of those joints, try and get the fluid into the joints, synovial fluid into the joints. Again, just working through that hand, working around it, just getting it moving. And then again, you can just mobilize, work through the joint up and down, getting the flexion and extension, getting the movement and the mobility through that thumb. And again, there's no harm in going through your fingers if you want to do that, working through each knuckle, because again, all you're doing is stimulating blood right into your hand if you work through all of the fingers anyway. This is great. So I don't wear tape or anything. I'm just constantly working through my fingers, self-massaging, making sure I look after all my joints, get the blood going, get the mobility going through my fingers, working through all of my individual digits, flexing, extending, stretching, anything like that's going to be so beneficial for your hands in general. I can already feel my thumb is like really warm. There's a lot of blood obviously going into that because of the work that I've done on it. All right, mate? So you've got a couple of tools there. None of these things, the most expensive thing is the Holland and Barrett one. Often I'll wait, they do like 2-for-1 offers, so I just basically then buy 2 of those. So you get one, I think it's like one completely free, or at least half price, something like that, so it cuts the cost down. But you'll always end up using this. It's really good for any kind of little niggles, muscle tension, if you need, if you need to just do a bit of massage and put that into the muscle tight areas like shoulders and backs and stuff, or after training as well.